Welcome friends to the fifth part of this series where we are creating a chat app in FlutterFlow and Supabase. So in this video, we'll be creating this profile page where the user will be able to see their profile picture, their name, their bio, as well as to log out of the profile page and edit their profile over here as well. So let's get to creating this profile page in our FlutterFlow dashboard. So we can just add a new page and let's search for a page template for profile. Let's see if there are any ones that we can use. Okay, so this page over here looks pretty similar to what we want. So in fact, we can just choose this and we can choose the default theme. And we'll name this page profile page. Then we'll just create the page. So first and foremost, let's just remove the things that we don't want. We don't want this background image over here. We'll also remove this stack, so we can right click on the stack and we can just select remove widget. We don't want this account text. We also don't want this notification settings. We don't want app settings. We don't want this support. And lastly, we don't want this terms of service. So we can just delete all of those. So now that we have removed the elements that we don't want, we can click on this and add a new widget to our page, and we can select an app bar widget. So we'll just add an app bar widget here. Now to change the style of the app bar, we can click on this over here and we can choose the large header app bar style. To change the style of your app bar universally throughout your app, you can go to settings and integrations, and under nav bar and app bar, we can change the styling of our app bar over here. So for the background color, we don't want primary, we want to choose alternate. And for our text color, we'll choose the black text color. So now it looks like how we want it to look like in our app over here. So we can go back to our widget tree. And for this app bar, we can change the style once again. We can choose this style over here. And now it has changed the style. It's strange that it didn't change the title text over here, but never mind. We can just change that manually by going to the text. And then we'll change the title text first, which is profile. Then we can scroll down and we can change the text color to a black primary text color. Let's also add some spacing or some padding on the top. Let's just add a padding of 24. And let's make this image bigger. So one thing we can do is we can go to the container and we can increase this diameter to 120. Alright, so now we can select the column and we can select this backend query option and we can add a query. So the query will be a Supabase query. And for the table, we'll select user data. And for the query type, it'll just be a single row, since we're only returning a single row of the user's data. And for the filter, we'll add a filter, and we'll filter for the UID, where the UID is equal to our authenticated user's user ID. And we'll just confirm. And now we'll change the image, the name, as well as the bio to whatever is returned from the user's data. So with the image selected, we'll change the path to user data row and we'll select the profile image path. We can do the same thing for the name. For the name, we will change the text field to user data row, and this time it'll be name. Give it a default variable of space. And finally, for the bio, we'll change this text bio to user data row, and this will be bio. And default variable will be a space as well. Let's just reduce the size of this name. So we'll just change it to a font size of 28. Yep, and that's it for our profile page over here. We can try testing it out, but before we test it out, we can go to settings and integrations. And under authentication, instead of the logged in page as the home page, we can now switch it to our profile page. And now let's try testing it out. Oh, and one more thing to note was that you notice that I didn't do anything to the logout button over here, and that is because the template comes with the built-in functionality in the logout button already. So if we select the logout button and we look at the action flow editor, we can see that on tap there is an auth logout. So this already logs out the function. So this button already comes with the logout function for us. And that is the beauty of using templates in FlutterFlow. A lot of it is already built into the template itself, and we don't really have to do much. Okay, so test mode has just loaded up. Let's try signing into our account. And you can see that when we are signed in, we are brought to our profile page. We can see our user profile image that we uploaded from last time, from the last video. We can see our username as well, and we can see our user bio over here. And we can also try to test the logout button, and indeed it brings us back to the sign in page. So that's it for today's video. In the next video, we'll be implementing the function to allow the user to edit the profile over here. So stay tuned for that video, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.